My wife posted a TikTok mocking me for falling asleep after work. Over 100,000 people laughed at me while I was working double shifts to pay for her son's school. I didn't respond. I vanished. But when the internet found out the truth, everything flipped. I sold my grandfather's watch to buy hockey gear for my stepson, a 1952 Omega Seamaster, the last thing my dad gave me before he died. I used to wear it on bad days just to remind myself I was built for more. Now it's gone. Pawned it for $280 to cover new skates and pads because the team needed them before Friday, and nobody else had the money. I didn't tell my wife. Not because I wanted credit, but because I didn't want her to feel bad. What a joke that turned out to be. That night, I came home with blisters on my feet from walking 2 miles. I'd skipped dinner to save money for gas. When I walked through the door, I heard laughter from the living room. The kind of laughter you get from teenagers watching someone fail. I froze. It was my laugh. Or more specifically, it was a video of me snoring on the couch. Drool on my chin. Hoodie stained. Work boots still on. They'd zoomed in on my face. Caption: Day 125 of living with a broke stepdad. He thinks being tired is a personality. The video had 83,000 likes. The sound in the background was some trending audio with a guy yelling, "Get a real job." My wife was laughing with my stepson. They thought it was hilarious. I stood there, holding a grocery bag with 1 box of mac and cheese and 2 off-brand energy drinks. Just frozen. She saw me, and instead of looking guilty, she smiled and said, "Oh, come on. It's just a joke. Don't be so sensitive." I didn't say anything. I just walked into the bedroom, closed the door, and sat in the dark. My phone buzzed an hour later. A coworker sent me the link to the TikTok, with a laughing emoji. Then another message. "Bro, is this you?" I watched the video again. Then again. Then I stared at the empty nightstand where the watch used to sit. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just shut down. That night I slept in my car. No explanation, no goodbye. I needed space. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. By morning, I had 19 missed calls. By noon, it was 42. Texts from my wife, my stepson, even my wife's sister, who I know never liked me. They were begging me to come home. Not because they were sorry, but because people in the comments had started turning on them. "Why are you mocking the guy who pays your bills? Y'all really filmed him sleeping after a shift? Disgusting. That man deserves better." I saw one that hit me the hardest. "He looks like someone who's carrying too much and has no one helping him. Y'all should be ashamed." That's when I realized something. They didn't see me as a partner. They saw me as a provider with no voice. A walking wallet with a beat-up car and calloused hands. And when that wallet got light, they made content out of my exhaustion. I still didn't go home. Instead, I drove to a gas station, bought a coffee, and sat there watching my phone vibrate off the dashboard. Missed call. Voicemail. Another call. Another voicemail. I finally picked up when her contact name changed to "Please answer." Her voice was shaking. She said, "I didn't know you'd see it." Let that sink in. Not, "I didn't mean it." Not, "I'm sorry." Just, "I didn't know you'd see it." As if the humiliation only mattered once it got back to me. I hung up without a word. Then I checked the TikTok again. It had crossed 100K views. And someone commented. Plot twist. He finds out, leaves, and never comes back. Then glows up. I don't know who that commenter was, but they lit a fuse in me. Because I wasn't coming back. Not until they remembered exactly who held this family together. And what it looks like when he finally lets go. I didn't go far. Just far enough. I found a cheap weekly motel about 40 minutes outside the city. No frills. Flickering hallway lights. Thin walls. The kind of place people stay when they're between jobs or lives. Felt fitting. The woman at the front desk didn't ask questions. Just handed me the key, room 208, and a glance that said she'd seen too many broken men check in without a return date. I laid on the bed, staring at the ceiling. I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I was hollow. But somewhere inside that emptiness, a plan was forming. Because here's the truth. They didn't want me back. They wanted the benefits of me. And I wanted to know how far that went. So I stayed gone. No texts. No updates. Just silence. And oh, the silence ate them alive. By the third day, my wife was posting notes app apologies to her Instagram story. Classic damage control. Sometimes jokes go too far. Pensive face. We all make mistakes. Please be kind. No mention of my name. No real apology. Just enough to make her look like the victim of internet bullying. She forgot something, though. TikTok isn't dumb. People started digging. Someone pulled up her old videos. Clips of her mocking my car, my job, my clothes. One even zoomed in on my lunch, a peanut butter sandwich in a Ziploc bag, with the caption, "Our king eating like it's 2007. That one hit me harder than I expected, because I remember that lunch. It was a rough week. I was behind on rent, my job had cut hours, and my stepson needed cleats for soccer. I bought the cleats. I made the sandwich. I smiled through it, and they turned it into content. The internet saw it too, and it turned on her. Fast. Comments went from LOLs to, "Girl, you married a working-class man just to roast him online? This is what emotional abuse looks like. Imagine biting the hand that feeds you, then asking for sympathy when he stops." She disabled comments, then deleted the videos. Too late. People had screen-recorded everything. Meanwhile, I was sipping gas station coffee and reading every comment like a man watching his house burn, from a hilltop, marshmallows in hand. And that's when I got the text that changed everything. Not from her. From her ex. Yeah, let that settle in. The man she swore was toxic, irrelevant, a bad father. He messaged me from a burner account. "I know who you are. And I know what she did." At first I ignored it. But then he sent a photo, a screenshot of her texts, to him, while we were still married. He's not going to be around much longer. Once the money stops, I'm done. You were right about him being too soft. My blood went cold. I stared at the messages for a long time. Then I typed back, "Why are you showing me this?" His reply, "Because she did the same thing to me." Then one more line. "You're not her husband. You're her phase." It was like the air got sucked out of the room. All the late nights, the sacrifices, the watch, the peanut butter sandwich, the bruised hands, the second jobs. It was never about love. It was never about partnership. It was transactional. And now that I'd stopped paying, she was out. But here's the twist. She wasn't ready for what I'd do next. Because this wasn't just a marriage anymore. It was a performance. And I was about to change the script. I didn't respond. Not to her. Not to her sister. Not to her, "I'm so embarrassed" voice notes. Not even to her ex after he offered to send more screenshots. I needed space. But more than that, I needed clarity. I spent the next few days doing something I hadn't done in years. Nothing. No extra shifts. No budget spreadsheets. No fixing broken cabinet doors or Googling how to get dog pee out of carpet. I slept. I read. I breathed. And slowly, the fog started lifting. That's when I noticed something strange. The more silent I went, the louder she got. It started with vague Instagram stories. "Some people don't appreciate loyalty. That's okay." Then came the rebranding. Suddenly, she was healing. Yoga videos. Gratitude journals. That filtered mirror selfie with the caption, "I choose peace over drama." Peace? You started the drama. But okay. I watched it all from the motel bed like a front row seat to a slow-motion train wreck. She posted a TikTok titled, "When Your Husband Disappears and the Internet Turns Against You." A video montage of her crying, wiping away tears to sad piano music. Caption, "I didn't mean to hurt him. I was just overwhelmed." The top comment, "You filmed him sleeping to clown him. Sit this one out." She deleted the video an hour later. Too late. Someone stitched it. Then another. And another. Soon, her name was trending in a corner of TikTok no one wants to be on. Spouse shame is anonymous. People were pulling her content apart like vultures. Why do these women marry working-class guys just to mock them online? If you're not ready for a man who sacrifices, don't ask for one. This poor dude was sleeping in his boots and y'all were clowning him? Each stitch, each comment, each call-out was one step closer to the truth coming out. And I wasn't even doing anything. That's when her tone shifted. The sad girl era ended real fast. She started posting about me, without saying my name. But I knew. He left. He didn't even talk to us. What kind of man ghosts his family instead of communicating? Oh, now I'm the villain? Now I'm abandoning you? I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my coffee. Then came the real punch in the gut. She posted a TikTok of my stepson, my kid, looking sad at the dinner table. Caption, "Dinner without dad. We miss you." The comments? Predictable. "He'll come back. Don't give up on him. Some men just aren't built for fatherhood." I snapped. I wasn't going to comment. I wasn't going to feed the fire. But that? Using that boy's sadness for likes? That was my line. So I sent her a text. First time in a week. Take that video down. Now. Her reply was instant. Then come home. Oh, so this is a negotiation now? I stared at the screen. My fingers hovered. And then I typed. You're still treating me like a product. I'm not coming back. You want to go viral with my pain? Fine. Just know I haven't even told my side yet. That was all. I hit send. And for the first time, I saw the read receipt appear and stay. She didn't reply. She didn't post. She went silent. And that, more than anything, told me one thing. She was scared of what I knew. She should be. Because the truth? It wasn't just messy. It was career-ending. I didn't want to go public. I swear to God, I didn't. But when someone uses your silence to control the story, you either stay quiet and drown, or you open your mouth and let the floodgates break. So I posted a video. Not flashy, not emotional, just me. No filter. Motel curtain behind me. I hit record and said, hey, I'm the broke stepdad everyone's been talking about. Since I didn't get to be part of the first story, I figured I'd tell mine. Boom. That was it. I uploaded it and turned my phone off. Didn't check it for 6 hours. When I finally did, 500,000 views, 15,000 comments, and a DM from a verified divorce attorney offering to work pro bono. I couldn't believe it. But the part that hit me hardest? People actually listened. Because I didn't just air dirty laundry. I told the truth. How I worked 2 jobs to cover rent while she built her brand. How I sold everything valuable I owned to keep the lights on, including a watch my grandfather gave me on his deathbed. How I stayed up with her kid when he had a fever, went to every game, helped with homework she didn't even look at. How I kept quiet when she mocked me, belittled me, filmed me at my lowest, because I didn't want to make drama. I ended the video with this. You can think what you want about me, but I was there, every day, and when I couldn't be useful anymore, I became content. That line, it exploded. People stitched it, quoted it, tweeted it, screen capped it with captions like, This is what emotional neglect looks like. Imagine carrying a family and being laughed at for sweating. He wasn't broke. He was just surrounded by people who never invested in him. By morning, her silence was deafening. She deleted her socials. Completely wiped. The influencer era? Cancelled. And that might have been enough. But the story didn't stop there. Because the video opened floodgates I didn't even expect. DMs started pouring in. From her friends. From former coworkers. Even from her ex's sister. All telling me the same thing. She's done this before. She always plays victim when things fall apart. She told people you were living off her. Living off her? While I was working 12-hour shifts and heating canned soup for her son. Oh, it got better. One former friend sent me screenshots, texts between my wife and another man. He's nice, but God, he's exhausting. He's so grateful all the time. It's pathetic. I miss when things felt exciting. These weren't recent. They were from our first year of marriage. She'd been planning an exit since the beginning. I sat on the edge of that motel bed for hours, just staring. I wasn't heartbroken. I wasn't surprised. I was just done. Done protecting her. Done explaining myself. Done pretending this marriage was anything but a curated lie with me as the background prop. So I posted again. Update. Turns out, the person I thought I married never really existed. And I don't want her back. Not for me. Not for her kid. Not even for closure. The comments exploded again. But this time, they weren't just mad for me. They were mad for everyone who had ever been used, belittled, or erased. I wasn't just broke stepdad guy anymore. I was something else. A symbol of what happens when the quiet one finally speaks. And she had nowhere to run. Because it wasn't me ruining her image. It was the mirror she built with her own hands. And for the first time, she had to look at it. It took her 6 days to break silence. 6 days of complete social media blackout. No stories. No filtered tears. No inspirational quotes about growth. Then, out of nowhere, I got an email. Subject line. Please read this. At first, I almost trashed it. But then curiosity got the better of me. It wasn't an apology. It was a pitch. I think we both said things we regret. Maybe we can meet. Just to talk. Maybe figure out how to move forward together. Together. Now that the internet wasn't on her side. Now that her brand deals had dried up. And every TikTok had the same 3 comments. Apologize to your husband. He deserves better. Where's the watch? Now she wanted to talk? I didn't reply. That same night, she sent a voice note. I didn't even open it. And the next morning, I got another message. This time, from her mother. We hadn't spoken in almost a year. Not since Christmas, when I showed up with groceries and she whispered, "You should try earning more, for their sake." Now suddenly she was sweet as sugar. "Hi, sweetheart. I just wanted to say, I'm so sorry for everything you've gone through. Maybe you, in her name, could sit down, no pressure. Just for closure." Closure? They didn't want closure. They wanted control. But what they didn't realize is, that guy, the one who said yes to every dinner, every favor, every guilt trip, he was gone. Something had shifted in me, and it was terrifying for them. Because I wasn't yelling. I wasn't begging. I wasn't even bitter. I was just free. And people like her, they don't know what to do with that. 3 days later, I got the final bomb. She showed up at my job. I was walking out of the back entrance of the warehouse when I saw her car, parked across the street. Door open. She got out like it was a rom-com reunion scene. Except I didn't stop walking. She called out, "Please, just let me explain." I turned, hands in my pockets. Calm. Tired. Done. Explain what? That you built a brand mocking me? Or that you were texting other men while I was maxing out cards to keep your lights on? She flinched, but kept pushing. You left. You didn't even try to fix it. I stepped closer, close enough for her to hear me clearly when I said, "You can't fix something you broke for views." Silence. She blinked fast, like she wanted tears but they wouldn't come. And then, she smiled. A soft, fake, calculated smile. "Look, we both made mistakes. But think about her son. He misses you. He still calls you dad." Boom. There it was. The one card she thought I couldn't resist. The one soft spot she was sure would make me cave. But she forgot something. I hadn't left him. I left her. So I looked her dead in the eye. He misses me because I showed up. Because I never made him feel small. Because I made him feel safe. You? You filmed me sleeping for laughs. Her eyes went glassy. But I wasn't done. You didn't lose a husband. You lost a shield. A worker. A scapegoat. And now you're realizing. I leaned just a little closer. You're gonna have to live with your own reflection. I turned. Didn't look back. Didn't hesitate. Because that day, I realized something even bigger than the betrayal. She was never my villain. She was just a mirror. She showed me how little I loved myself, by how little she valued me. And now that I finally saw it, she had no power. None. A week passed. No more emails. No more pop-ins. No more, "Please just talk to me" voice notes. It was finally quiet. Too quiet. Then, on a Tuesday afternoon, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. A minute later, a message popped up. "Hi, this is Mr. Alvarez, from West Grove Elementary. I hope this isn't inappropriate, but your name came up during a parent-teacher check-in today with stepson's name. He listed you as his emergency contact." I froze. I hadn't even thought about that. I'd filled out those forms years ago. Field trips, emergency contacts, pickup lists. No one ever changed them. And now, they needed me. But that wasn't what hit hardest. The next line of the voicemail did. He said something today I thought you should hear. He told the class, "My dad is on a break, but he's coming back soon. Because real dads don't leave." I sat down on the motel bed and just stared at the floor. That kid, he wasn't mine by blood. But for 3 years, I packed his lunches, taught him to ride a bike, sat through freezing soccer games, walked him through nightmares and scraped knees. He called me dad the first time by accident. He called me dad every time after that because he meant it. And now, he still believed in me. Even when the internet didn't. Even when his mother used me as a punchline. Even when I walked out the door. He still believed I was coming back. Because in his eyes, I never left. That night, I sat in my car for 2 hours outside his school. Just thinking. Not plotting. Not scheming. Just asking myself one question. Do I go back for him without her? I didn't have an answer. So I messaged Mr. Alvarez. Simple. "Thanks for the message. Please don't mention this to his mom. But if you ever need someone to pick him up, I'm still available. Always." His reply was instant. "Understood. You're a good man." I didn't feel like one. Not yet. But maybe. That kid's still seeing me that way. Maybe that meant I wasn't beyond saving. The next day, I left a note at his school. It wasn't dramatic. Just a folded letter in an envelope marked, "Stepson's name." Personal. Inside was one sentence. "I didn't leave because I stopped being your dad. I left because I started remembering how to be a man." No signature. No big reveal. Just the truth. He deserved it. Because he never used me for clout. Never filmed me. Never mocked my tiredness. He just hugged me when I got home and smiled when I made waffles. He was the only reason I ever stayed in that house longer than I should have. And he might be the only reason I find my way out of the motel. It started with a message from Mr. Alvarez. Hey, I think she knows. That was it. Short. Cold. I reread it 3 times, then typed. What happened? His reply came with a photo. A blurry screenshot from a Facebook post. Her page. The caption? Some people don't know boundaries. Showing up to a child's school behind a mother's back is not love. It's manipulation. I blinked. She was spinning it again. Of course she was. But this time, she wasn't just telling people I was unreliable. She was painting me as dangerous, predatory, creepy. She didn't tag me, didn't say my name, but it didn't matter. Everyone knew. The comments were a war zone. Some called her out. Girl, you posted him snoring for views, now you care about boundaries? Others took her side. He's not even the bio dad. He needs to back off. That one hit different. He's not the bio dad. It echoed in my head. I thought about the first time that kid got the flu and curled up in my lap like I was the only safe place in the world. I thought about every art project, every bedtime story, every broken nightlight I fixed. He didn't ask for DNA. He asked for presence. And now? She was erasing all of it. Publicly. To save face. I didn't respond. Not online. Not even in private. Because this time, I had no doubt what this was. It wasn't heartbreak. It wasn't grief. It was power panic. She was losing control of the story. And she was using him to drag me back in. But she didn't know what I had. See, the thing about people like her? They forget everything they say on camera is stored somewhere. I'd spent the night after the Facebook post digging through my old phone. And there it was. A video. Not posted. Just saved. From 2 years ago. Her voice, on camera, talking to a friend while sipping wine in our kitchen. He's basically his dad. My ex doesn't even show up anymore. He's the one who's here. Honestly, if I didn't have him, I'd be drowning. Timestamp. April 17th, 2023. I saved it. Then another clip. This time audio only. She was crying. Late at night. After a fight with her sister. She whispered into the phone. He's the only stable thing in stepson's name, life. And I know I don't deserve him. Saved that too. I didn't post them. Not yet. But I knew. If she kept coming, if she kept using that child like a shield, I'd fight back. Not with rage. Not with slander. With truth. And truth is a weapon liars can't survive. That night, she sent me a text. Just one. Stay away from us. No, please. No, I'm sorry. Just a line in the sand. And you know what? I didn't cross it. Because I didn't have to. I'd already walked away. But I sent one thing back. Not a message. Not a threat. Just a photo. Of her and me and her son. A year ago. His arms wrapped around my neck. All 3 of us smiling. Captioned in her own handwriting from a birthday card. Thank you for being the father he chooses. She never replied. She just went quiet. But I know her silence now. It doesn't mean peace. It means she's regrouping. Plotting. And I'm ready. Because this time, she's not just up against a tired husband. She's up against a man who's finally awake. The envelope came on a Friday. Unmarked. Plain. Just sitting in my motel mailbox like it wasn't a bomb. Inside? A court notice. Temporary restraining order filed. Petitioner. Her name. Reason. Unlawful contact with minor without parental consent. My hands went cold. There it was. Not an accusation. Not a threat. An official move to wipe me out of that kid's life. To make it look like I was the unstable one. To rewrite history in ink. I sat on the bed and stared at the paper for a long time. Then I called the lawyer who had DM'd me weeks ago. She answered on the second ring. I was waiting for this. She wasn't surprised. She'd seen it before. Manipulative partners using legal systems to punish the one who left. To hurt them in the only place they still had influence. I sent her everything. The voicemail from Mr. Alvarez. The saved videos. The birthday card with "Thank you for being the father he chooses" in her handwriting. She didn't even hesitate. We're not just fighting this. We're flipping it. By Monday, we had filed a response. But we didn't stop there. We filed for guardianship rights. That's when it got real. Because I wasn't just defending myself anymore. I was claiming that role. Not for ego. Not for revenge. But because that boy deserved someone who wouldn't walk out. Or weaponize his feelings for court wins. The internet caught wind. How? Because her sister, the one who never liked me, switched sides. She posted a screenshot of the TRO to her private story with the caption, "This is disgusting. He raised that kid. She's lost her mind." And just like that, the narrative flipped. Again, people started sharing their own stories. My stepdad was more of a father than my bio ever was. My mom tried to keep me from the only man who ever showed up. Still haven't forgiven her. Why do courts always assume DNA equals loyalty? I didn't say a word. Didn't post. Didn't rage. Just waited. Then came the court date. She walked in with a sleek lawyer and tight jaw. Hair done. Dressed for sympathy. I wore my work boots. Didn't speak unless asked. Let my lawyer do the talking. She laid it all out. Dates. Proof. Messages. That card, the one with her handwriting? We blew it up on a projector. I watched her face crack when the judge read it out loud. Thank you for being the father he chooses. Silence. Her lawyer fumbled. Tried to spin it. This was before their separation. Feelings change. The judge raised his hand. Miss, did you give this card willingly? She swallowed. Nodded. The judge leaned back. Then don't expect the court to pretend this man was a stranger. Boom. Restraining order? Denied. Guardianship? Under review. But even if I didn't win it fully, that day in that courtroom, I won something bigger. I won my voice back. She didn't look at me when she left. Didn't say a word. Just stormed out like the silence might undo everything. But it didn't. Because truth, once spoken out loud, can't be unheard. It was 7:13 p.m. I remember because I just poured hot water over a cup of instant noodles when my phone lit up. Unknown number. At first I thought, spam. Ignored it. Then it rang again. Same number. No voicemail. Just silence. And something in my chest twitched. I picked up on the third ring. Hello? Nothing. Just static. And then a small voice. Hi. I froze. I knew that voice. It was him. My stepson. The kid they told me to stay away from. The kid she claimed I was manipulating. The kid she tried to legally cut me off from. But now, he was calling me. Hey, buddy. I whispered. Is everything okay? He paused. Then, quiet as a secret. I found your number on Mom's old phone. She was asleep. I just wanted to say. Silence. I could hear his breathing. Could hear him gathering whatever courage a 9-year-old needs to make a call he knows could get him in trouble. And then, I miss you. I told them you didn't do anything bad. I told Grandma. I told the teacher. I told everyone. You didn't do anything. I bit the inside of my cheek so hard it bled. Tears came fast, hot, angry, and broken. But I didn't let him hear it. I miss you too, kiddo, I said softly. So much. Then, his voice cracked. I don't want a new dad. Boom. That one split me open. Because of course they were trying that. Of course. She couldn't control me anymore. So now she needed to fill the space. The dad space. The safe space. My space. But that boy? He wasn't buying it. He knew. He felt the difference. Love doesn't have followers. It doesn't have hashtags. It has presence. I didn't speak for a few seconds. I needed the lump in my throat to shrink enough to say what mattered. I don't know what's going to happen, buddy. Grown-up stuff is complicated sometimes. But I need you to remember something. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because I finally started loving myself. There was a pause. Then, like it came from somewhere deep inside him. A voice barely more than a whisper. I still think you're my dad. That's it. No court. No lawyer. No DNA. Just truth. Simple. Clean. Devastating. I told him I couldn't call back. That he shouldn't get in trouble for reaching out. But that I was always thinking about him. I made him promise to stay safe. And before hanging up, he said one last thing. I kept the drawing. The one you helped me with. The one where we're superheroes. You're still mine. Click. Silence. I sat there with the phone in my lap, screen dimming slowly. And realized. This whole story? It started with being humiliated. Mocked. Devalued. But it ends, not with revenge. Not even with justice. It ends with being seen. And the only eyes that ever mattered? Were his. It happened quietly. No viral drama. No big public scandal. Just a slow unraveling. One unfollow at a time. One brand deal, no longer affiliated statement. One real-world consequence for every fake smile she ever posted online. Turns out, brands don't like lawsuits. Especially not ones where a court says, You used a child and a legal system to harm someone who raised him. Yeah, we didn't win full guardianship. The system still favors biology. But the judge gave me supervised visitation rights at the school, with staff present. More than I expected. Less than he deserved. But enough. Enough to sit beside him while he worked on math. Enough to watch him score a goal at recess. Enough to say, I'm here. With my eyes. With my presence. With the steady, quiet love that needs no audience. As for her, she tried to pivot. The healing mom era. Yoga poses, smoothies, I've learned and grown posts. But people remember. The screenshots. The stitched TikToks. The crying husband holding noodles in a motel room. You can't rebrand a heart that never had humility. Eventually, she moved. Out of state, according to her sister. Took the boy with her. Left no forwarding address. Blocked me again. And you know what? I didn't chase. Because I finally understood. You don't have to possess something to honor it. I'd shown him what love looked like. And one day, when he's old enough, he'll find me again. Not through courts. Not through drama. But through memory. Through a feeling. The kind that says, someone showed up for me. Someone stayed kind in the fire. And that someone was me. The broke stepdad. The guy with the peanut butter sandwich. The guy she laughed at while I slept in my work boots. The guy who pawned his last watch to buy hockey skates. Not a content character. Not a scapegoat. Just a man who finally learned one simple truth. Being needed is not the same as being respected. And being used is not the same as being loved. So when people ask me now, do you regret it? I smile. Because I don't. I walked through hell. And came out holding myself. And that's worth more than any apology she never gave.